Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
Oh, hello, creeps. You're right on time for your appointment.
Hey, Phil, I have a question. What do the Sandman and Will Smith's wife have in common?
I don't know, Will. What do they have in common?
They're both in this movie.
Oh, that's right. Thomas Hayden Church, yeah. All right, kids. Well,
Keywords, Phil.
By that magnificent comedy, you know what time it is, kids. She's a little bit salty.
He's a whole lot of petty, and together we're the Salty and Petty Podcast.
Duh. That's right, kids. We're back. First
and
episode.
what franchise represents us best? Being salty and petty. It's definitely Tales from the Crypt.
The Crypt Keeper.
Yes. My original iconic role model.
That's right, kids, because we're back for the new year to discuss.
Is this the first one of the year?
Salty at first.
We were busy doing John Bird January over on Unlimited Justice.
That's right.
And it was truly outrageous.
Yes. Although this will be the last week of January, the last week of January, since we're called Monday, so still in January. Okay.
Just barely. So
yes.
Happy New Year from the Salty and Petty crew.
Exactly. But yes, this time we're covering Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, the first movie of the franchise. Because
No. Tales from the Crypt 1972 is technically the first movie in the franchise. Although it did technically base more of its stories off the sister show, The Vault of Horror. But, the TV show actually borrowed from a lot of other EC properties, not just Tales from the Crypt as well.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Technically, the 1972 movie is the first movie in the franchise.
Okay. Well, the first one of the 90s then.
Okay, there you go.
But yes, it's the 30th anniversary, kids. This originally released in January 1995. You feel old yet?
You want to know what's even crazier? The original script was written in 1987.
Wow. I mean, how'd that work? Tales
from the Crypt was supposed to be a series of movies. That's originally how the people that had the rights envisioned it. And then the main director guy, he did like some movie that bombed, and so they were like, you know what, maybe we should do it for TV. And then HBO was the thing. Think of this. This is 1995. This is like prime HBO. It's HBO and MTV are like the premium cable channels.
Oh yeah, yeah.
At that time, so they're like, why not?
Like a lot of those episodes in the first few seasons, you get a lot of big names and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's giving very much, it's giving Twilight Zone, but like with a creepier spin.
Oh yeah,
I love a good anthology show. So like this is like I didn't watch this until, like I said, like when I was younger and discovered it in reruns, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is not HBO. It was like, I think it was just like at the last season that was still on HBO is when they started doing those reruns. At least that's when I discovered it, and I was like, oh, I can just watch it on HBO.
Yeah,
uncensored.
I used to go down to my friend's house to watch it on HBO, but
I'm telling Mom.
I think, like they replayed these on, God, I don't know if there was.
Mine was my Fox local affiliate. Yes. It was like after Mad TV, this would come on.
Yes. It was like late on a Saturday night. Yes. And they said, of course, it was censored. And it's like, well, that's no fun.
It's like when they were showing like how I discovered actually Dexter. I was aware of the books, but not the TV show. But like randomly, I think it was like a year before Arrow came out, they were doing like reruns in the summer on CBS. And David Ramsey is in that first season.
Yeah.
And I just find that really funny.
That's like, oh God, it was like 10 years ago or so, maybe more. But A&E was like running like reruns of The Sopranos, but it was like censored. That's like, okay.
Oh, that's definitely no fun.
I know, man.
So like 5 minutes of content.
I think I'm trying to remember. They might have let them get away with a little bit of language, but of course there's no nudity. There's no, they cut down on the murder, the actual like dead bodies and something like that. That's no fun.
So this movie is critically and financially a flop, but they still did a sequel. I mean, in today's terms, I guess it was a flop, and I don't think that they were really happy that with a budget of $12 million, it only returned $21.1 million. But I think it was like super niche. Horror wasn't really. This is like a year before Scream, when Scream really reinvigorated the. This came a little too soon, I think, because it's very satirical. It's very meta, and I just like. And it's not Wes Craven. It's directed by Ernest Dickerson, who's not really kind of known for this thing. And, our biggest, like, let's be real. Like, at the time, the biggest name is Billy Zane. And we all know Billy Zane is much like The Rock. He can only play Billy Zane.
Well, I was going to say, I guess, yeah, I do. I'm just Jada Pinkett.
Well, she's not really a name right now. And, like, I love CCH Pounder. This is, like, where I, like, fell in love with her. And Thomas Hayden Church, let's be real, Billy Zane's the biggest name here. So that's not boding well.
What about
the show was, like I said, the show was like at its tail end. It's in its last 2 seasons. This should have came way before. They weren't really I think they were gonna let the show, the idea if this movie did well was they were gonna let the show go away and then keep the franchise alive with like movies, maybe reboot the comic books, and all those things, but this totally screwed the franchise.
I mean, yeah, next month we're gonna do 2 episodes, but like I'm on the last season now, and like, did they move the like production to like the UK or something for the last season? Because like everything seems set in London so far.
Well, I think something came up with the rights because that 1972 movie that I mentioned was UK people. And I think maybe, that might have been it. I'll have to look into that. Like I said, I haven't fully rewatched the whole show in a long, long time. Especially those last 2 seasons, I always remember being kind of a slog to get through. Yeah. Like, I feel like seasons 2, 3, and 4 are like peak Tales from the Crypt. It's the best. Like, season 1's really rough and bumpy, but fun. Just like Twilight Zone. Like I said, you can see a lot of the Twilight Zone in it. So I really appreciate it for that.
I've been doing a watch through, and I'm going pretty quick. But yeah, now that I'm on season 7, it's just like, ugh.
And there are not that many episodes in a season. I mean, by today's standards, actually a lot. But back then, I was like, well, it was HBO, so you're kind of used to it. Outside of like maybe like Arliss and things like that, had a few more episode counts. But yeah, so yeah, I always like. This movie's so weird because it's like biblical. It's like Demon Night, and I'm just like, so the meta setup for it, right, is that the Crypt Keeper is directing a film called Demon Night, and he starts like that. That's the setup, and then we kind of open up on this desert road in New Mexico. There's this demon in a human meat suit, the Collector. And he's pursuing this quote unquote drifter.
I mean, it's basically a longer, it's an hour and a half Tales from the Crypt episode.
But with like less heart, pathos, and like I think that they tried to do too much. Like, it's a black horror comedy film. It's like babes.
Oh, and you're
doing too much.
You said Billy Zane was the biggest name. What about that opening scene, John Larroquette? And I was like, I forgot about that.
He was uncredited. Actually, he did not even want his name attached to it. If you look at the credits, he's not there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I said what I said.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No tea, no shade to John Larroquette, but
I just love we open up before we even get to like the main story. It's like, naked chick in the bathtub.
Check. Oh, so I have a joke with my friend who I watch a lot of terrible, terrible movies with. Like I'm talking like the Amazon originals, Netflix originals, and just like older like horror movies. It's like if you see at least side titty within the first 2 minutes, that movie is gonna be awful. And I really feel like if I actually broke down like the Excel file, it would hold true.
Probably.
Like, as much as I love nudity and side titty and all that, like it's gonna be a terrible movie. I already know.
Well, yeah, pretty much because it's like, if
that's all you have to offer.
If you're bored in the first 5 minutes, it's like, oh hey, wait, no, stay. You might see more of this.
And you never do. You might get a little man cheeks, but you're definitely not getting.
I mean, we got a scene later on with a bunch of women in one of these
party babes. Shout out to Tracy Bingham, aka Baywatch alumni.
Oh yeah, that's where. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been in a couple other things, but I think she's most well known for those last few seasons of regular Baywatch. Not to be confused with Baywatch Nights or Baywatch Hawaii.
Well, it was 95, so yeah, Baywatch. Oh God, I was gonna say we should do an episode on Baywatch on the Baywatch.
I could. First of all, I have to roast the movie, and then we can actually get into good Baywatch.
That should be in our sub-series, the 90s Files.
Hello. I mean, that's originally what Salty Betty was supposed
to be. Yeah. Is that streaming anywhere? Or?
I want to say it was on Universal, but I'd have to double check that because Mama's got a VPN, and I don't know. I don't remember where what is located. I'm sure if you can get a VPN and look up anything in Germany, it'll be there.
Okay. That's right. That's right.
On a German server, I'm sure it's there somewhere.
That's right, kid. She's watching TV in the middle of the square in Berlin, so mind your business.
Anyway, so yeah. Shout out to Uncle Willie, because like honestly, Dick Miller, hello. Dick Miller is like was a really famous actor. He's like 200 movies.
Oh yeah, you know.
So yeah, and so like Uncle Willie, I always feel like that's a shout out to Willie Nelson. If you know, you know.
It'd be nice if it was.
I that's my headcanon. You can't take it from me. And he's like the local drunk. It's so funny. And like they go to that decommissioned church that's been like converted into a boarding house. First of all, ew.
Yeah. And too, it's like when they're walking into the church, like you could see the green screen and stuff. I'm just like,
yeah. I'm pretty sure you can see the green screen in the theatrical cut. It's not just years. This was like in like two potato. Like I don't know what it was shot in, but it was not good. It did not age well.
And you could tell something like in the beginning when the Crypt Keeper's walking around. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, we're losing. Even in 1995, we were losing recipes because the TV show did it perfectly well, and that is the beauty of practical things. That's why Jurassic Park, the original one, not Jurassic Park 2 or 3, the original Jurassic Park looks better than the ones made in the 2000s. Because everything's terrible, cheap CGI. So yeah, I was just like, okay, and like right there, as soon as we get to the church, there's that prostitute, there's that Wally, and then there's that convict that's on work release, aka Jada Pinkett Smith, but it's just Jada Pinkett at this point.
Yeah.
This is when she was obsessed with Tupac. I would assume she was in her Tupac dick getting era. So,
wow.
I think she might have been on a different role was still on or had just ended, which might be why they got her. I'm not really sure. I always forget she's in this movie. Like, it's a lot of movies in the 90s where you're just like, oh yeah, she's in this for like 10 minutes.
I mean, she was in most of this one, so.
Yeah, I'm just like, and I still didn't. I was looking at that, I was like, oh yeah, she's here. Well, I told Phil I was going to watch this, so I have to work around this. And then a cook named Roach. That's just what you want.
Oh, yeah.
And then Sheriff Tupper. Like, poor sheriffs get such a bad rap in movies, man.
I know. Always on the wrong side of everything.
Like that one movie, Thanksgiving, that we talked about. The sheriff is just always terrible.
Yes. But I mean, the main story starts with, the car chase.
Yeah. The collector at the crash site. It's like, he's a dangerous thief. Like, you know what? I'm going to lock the both of you up just to be safe.
Yeah, can you put this in that key in the case for me? Yeah, can you dump that stuff out in it? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like that fake ID. And...
Well, that's the other thing besides the boobs. It's like, okay, we got a car chase and then like a big explosion.
Not even like a good car chase though.
I know, just like down at like a big like a straight stretch of highway, and then
they're in New Mexico. No tea, no shade.
Oh, that's true.
Like, there's not much in New Mexico. Shout out to Albuquerque. Shout out to Breaking Bad fandom. Don't at me.
But that is just so funny. We get the big explosion. It's like, yeah, kids, stay tuned.
Yeah, and then the collector has like these psychic powers, and he possesses Cordelia, and I'm just like, oh. I wouldn't be possessing a hooker, but that to each his own. We all make choices.
Well, I mean,
and she kills Wally and cripples poor Irene, and then gets killed. And I'm just like, okay, this is a lot of stuff happening, but not anything's advancing the plot here. Well, and then they're in those old mine tunnels. And I'm just like, ugh.
I'm glad we killed that kid, though. That kid was.
Oh, yeah, that boy Danny. Yuck. Yeah. Listen. I don't mind when they kill kids. You can't kill a dog in a movie. I won't watch it. But if you kill a kid, I'm like, whatever. I don't care.
I mean, annoying kids is just, yeah. And again, I don't know if he was typecast or what. I mean, not every part he did was like this, but Thomas Hayden Church plays like a dick very well.
He does. He's the perfect Sandman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I'm thinking where he wasn't. I forget what movie it was. Where he didn't play a dick.
Yeah, no, I know
he is
did.
definitely typecast, especially in the 90s.
I mean, again, there are certain men and women who, you know, they play those parts well, and it's like, hey, man, if you can make money off that, why not do it?
It's like poor Jim Parsons. I'm just like, I don't think he's like that in real life, but everybody assumes he's like Sheldon. So.
Well, everyone wants him to be Sheldon. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if you're
like Jaleel, or the worst of all, Jaleel White. None of his stuff he did after Family Matters ever took off.
Oh, no, because, again, if you do your job too well, everyone just sees you in that role.
He was a kid. Like, that's why I feel so bad. Like, people are idiots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, let a child star grow up. That's why they go crazy and have drug addictions. Well, that and, you know, they've been being fondled. And no,
I mean, especially if you have
help.
Especially if you have, like, a long run or something. Like, Big Bang Theory was, 12 years or 12 seasons or something? So, yeah, if you do it for a long while, that really cements it in people's heads.
And that's why he's like, I will not be returning. If the cast is that desperate for money, they can do it without me. Thank you. Yeah. Meanwhile, my own Alex like, yeah, we're just gonna do it without Parsons. And I'm like, babes, you're missing the boat here. I mean, Johnny Galecki could actually hold it without him, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. I thought
like him, Penny, and the kid. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I thought they were thinking about a Howard and Raj spinoff or.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little too late. I think everybody's obsessed with like the Young Sheldon spinoffs. So
yeah.
I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately. Much like this movie. Like, and they're like, nobody ever talks about rebooting the series or making new movies for this, and I don't know why.
Well, because remember, Daniel got me the DVD set for Christmas of the episodes, so I'm watching the show.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why isn't this on DVD? I looked it up. It's one of those things. It's like the Batman 66 thing all over again. There's so many different people have so many different rights to this, like the music, to this. I think that's another reason it hasn't been rebooted. The rights are all over the place. They're a mess.
Yeah, because the main guy, obviously Gaines has been passed away for a while, so he was like the main driving force of it. He like literally kept EC Comics, and yeah, so it's like a whole thing. Like, I get it. Like, when he died, it probably went to poop. Yeah.
When people are probably, trying to negotiate with
he was really old when Tales from the Crypt was out, so I can only imagine that whole thing. But yeah. So then the other town folks are under this demonic possession. They get back into the church, and they're like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, it's about this artifact. And then we like, the creation of Earth by God. And I'm just like, what? Demon Shoot 7? What? What is this Tales from the Crypt movie? What is this?
I know. It's like, before God created the earth. Yeah.
Fill it with the blood of Christ. I'm like, listen, babes, if I wanted to go see The Exorcist, I would go see The Exorcist. Okay?
I mean, I guess they were trying to level up the story for a movie, but yeah. And again,
it's like, babes, I love a good sphere of destiny. Like, I love that storyline. Like, I love, no matter who does that storyline, but this is not a good way. This is basically a take on that, I guess.
Why was it shaped like a giant key?
God loves keyholes? I don't know.
Hey-oh.
I mean, keyholes are a pretty cool shape, like vintage keyholes, if you think about it. I forget the history or why they're shaped like that, but there's like some quote-unquote mystical reason. And the keys of Solomon. Keys are a motif in like the biblical stories. So, I mean, it's kind of like a layman's thing, unlocking something mysterious and precious. Yada, 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 shorthand,
Or is it's Tales from the Crypt? Is it a metaphor for sticking something in something?
Again, God loves keyholes for some random reason. Like, in the shape of old keyholes, like I said.
Hello, Adam. Would you like a keyhole?
Gonna need your rib first. Thank you. So,
I know these days that's a cheap date.
Well, his first wife, Lilith, she just screeched off into the night. So, Adam probably didn't have much of a personality.
She had her way with him and kicked him back out into the Garden of Eden.
Like, nah, I'd rather be out here in the world full of demons. I'm out. But then like the Guardians had to like, they were like immortal and they had to refill it with their own blood when they died. I'm like, this is just such a random story. And he got his key from his officer from World War One, and I'm just like, ugh.
I guess it's Guardian magic, so I guess it has to be their blood. I'm like, you can't just fill that with anybody's blood.
Well, again, sacred bloodlines is also a very biblical trope.
Yeah.
It's problematic, but, you know, it's why most worlds in the world happen. But anyway.
Has to do with that hand tattoo.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then Danny and Jada, I'm just going to call it Jada, starts rallies for everybody to look for him. And then Roach sneaks the key out of the satchel. And I'm just like, okay, that's not going to end well for you, bud.
I know. I always question the logic of that. Again, I know it's you have to deal with the movie logic of this, but I'm like, why did he think, you know, the demons would keep their word? Or, you know, it's like, okay, even if they do keep
there is this thing about, well, I don't know about demons specifically, but there is a thing. There has been a long running tradition of the devil himself actually can't lie.
Yeah. Well, he can.
I don't know that extends to demons. And again, like, semantics is a powerful thing, right? Look at our government.
Yeah. But again, I mean, he told them it's like, you know, the darkness will come back, and it's basically going to be, Earth is basically going to become hell. Even if they let you go, what, you want to live in hell?
I mean, babes.
Well, I know
it's the 90s. It was already the start of hell. Hate to break it to you guys. We've been living in hell for a while.
It's the 90s. Yes, Earth will become hell, but we'll give you some big titty girls. Okay.
I mean, think about it. That Brendan Fraser movie with Liz Hurley. I mean, we got a lot of those Faustinian movies in the 90s. I'm just saying, if you know where to look, you can pay attention to the trends.
So the Earth's going to become hell, but there's going to be a bunch of large-chested women running around?
That you'll never be able to touch.
That's right.
And that is the birth of incels. No, I'm kidding.
That's right. Earth is about to become 90s LA.
Oh.
90s LA.
That's even worse. I'd rather live in 2025 LA right now than live in 95 in LA. No, thank you. That might just be my San Diego sensibilities, but
oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah, we go to that church attic, and Irene and Bob discover that Wally was about to like blow up the post office because, you know, going postal was a thing in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It was about almost as bad as like school shooters, you know.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, going postal in the 90s. Yeah, okay. But he had no bullets.
Honestly, it's a trope, but like I can't recall. Maybe I was just too young of that actually ever happening. But it's like such a huge trope.
I can't remember. I swear that was a trope because it might have happened once, but I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember where or when.
Yeah, it's like post office workers, florists, and dentists are like the most, like if you give them like psych tests, they're the ones that have like the most deviation or something from the quote unquote norm. I think, if I remember right.
I mean, I guess with the dentist, if you're sticking your hand in the mouth all day, but you would think you would think more than dentists. They would think, you know, if anyone would go insane, it'd be like proctologists or something.
Now, when you go into proctology, you know what you're doing.
Oh, you're
an ass man for sure.
So you just dive into that lifestyle.
Oh yeah, it was 1,000,000 to 1 shot, Doc. You know.
I remember
need my Seinfeld cue, please. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. I do remember, like in high school in the 90s, like all these guys said, "Oh yeah, it must be great to be a gynecologist," and it's like, no, it's like,
yeah, you know, as somebody who actually has delivered a baby, yeah.
And like, and like, you know, people were pointing out, it's like, no, it's like, you know, you're not going to get you're not getting supermodels every time. 2, it's like if someone's coming in, you know, a lot of times there's a problem, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like,
and that's why women like women doctors.
Yes.
Just saying. Yeah. So the collector possesses Uncle Willie and attacks the others, and then while battling Willie, Roach makes a deal with the collector to trade his life for the key, but of course he gets betrayed and killed. Of course. Oh, then the collector brainwashes Danny, who Morley wants that other guy, and then Jada Pinkett Smith kills him.
I was like, okay, here's my question. How did the kid get possessed? Was it reading the comic book?
Of course.
Okay. Oh.
Comic book meta commentary because, EC Comics.
Yeah,
I mean, comics back in the day. I think EC Comics was probably the first shift to like explicitly state that it was like for mature audiences only. If I remember my comic book history correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So especially in like the 40s and the 50s. Oh, comic books are evil. They'll rot your kid's brain.
Mm-hmm.
Just like rock and roll music and jazz and marijuana.
They'll make them
all
criminals.
All the fun stuff.
They'll make them criminals or that.
Did you know it's on Blu-ray, by the way?
Whoa, this? Yeah. I rented this, but yeah, because you know what? I think because this was released theatrically, I think they were somehow able to put on Blu-ray. Yeah.
I heard that the Blu-ray wasn't that great though.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you could see all the, if we could see the green screen and stuff, which again, it might have been HD quality because I did like rent this off Prime, so it could.
Well, Prime lies about stuff being HD and Ultra HD, just as a heads up.
I mean, I didn't even notice. I'm just like, I just gotta watch the movie.
Don't ever pay extra. It's all lies. Same thing with Netflix. It's all lies. You have to have like a special cable and the whole thing. Like, you gotta read the fine print.
I mean, I was looking. I was almost going to buy it. Well, you can get this on.
You rented it on Prime, right?
Yeah. But like, if you look on like, if you look on Amazon and stuff, if you just want to go for the DVD, you can get the DVD for like under $10. So
of course,
yeah.
No DVD should be. If you're paying more than $10 for a DVD, babes.
Yeah. No.
Hate to break it to you, you're being scammed. At that point, it's time to ride the high seas. But sorry.
Yeah,
you tried to do it the proper way. They're scamming you, so you have no choice.
I know, but like these days, they're trying to sell the kids on the vinyl and stuff, and it's
that's different. Vinyl is worth it.
She's like, you can hear the Christmas.
That is one of the best physical medias. I'm sorry to help you connect to your music.
Oh God, are you listening to vinyl? Are you collecting vinyl?
I've been listening to vinyl. I've been collecting vinyl and cassette tapes my whole life. I never got rid of my collection.
Oh my Lord. I saw something on Facebook, one of the memes or someone's video this week where they're just like, well, yeah, no wonder our generation is so good with technology. They're like, we had to start with, like vinyl, then we had to jump to like, cassettes, then we had to go to CDs, then we had to go to MP3s. And then now we're to the point where we're paying subscriptions for music.
So now we're all back to burning CDs. I heard there was a spike in like CDs and like, the discs and stuff because everybody's ripping them. So I'm like, oh, we're back to mixed CDs. I'm happy. Now, if we could just get back to mixed tapes, then Mama will be super happy.
Well, I think maybe because, again, they're not on all cars anymore, but like there's more of a chance you're going to get a CD player in a car than like a cassette. Unless you like swap.
Shout out to all my 1995 Toyota Camrys. Shout out to all the middle class kids in San Diego. If you know, you know.
Remember when we carried big cases of CDs?
And don't forget DVDs too.
Oh yeah.
If you had a friend who knew how to do something, all those blank CDs labeled with marker, you know.
Or those people who had the disc changers in the trunk.
I did, yeah.
Did you? No, nice.
Well, maybe not in the trunk. I think it was actually just right up front. I hate disc changers though. They really do mess up your CDs and the long run of things.
Yeah.
So I caution against that. But anyway, this movie was just such a mess. Like it was a lot of blood. Like the kills weren't as gory as I was expecting them to be.
Yeah, for a movie,
This was like rated R, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Or would it be PG-13 by today's standards? Because I know a lot of movies get like, retooled or whatever, and like some movies that were like PG-13 back in like the 80s are now like PG and stuff like that.
I mean, I could see them getting away maybe with a PG. I mean, maybe the boobs maybe making an R, but
yeah, I guess you're right. Heaven forbid we see something that half the freaking population has. Heaven forbid.
Well, yeah, that's
even more than that because some guys got bigger tits than I do. So, and they get to walk around without their shirt on.
I know.
Unless you live in New York, free the nipple. Free the nipple.
I mean, I think I'm in somewhat decent shape, but like, yeah, I don't go out even at the pool anymore. Like, I won't go out in like public and like show my bare chest. And I like to see like either like fat guys or old guys. I'm like, man, they have like zero. Like, they're just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm always saying that. I'm like, yeah, we can disembowel people, you can do all kinds of stuff, but it's like, yeah, God forbid we see a human body.
Yeah.
God forbid
human body.
God forbid we prepare these kids for what they're gonna see. Yeah, no.
Puritanical roots. So as the Guardian dies, he initiates Jada's character as the Guardian of the Key, which deactivates all the blood seals. And then the Collector overpowers Jada and takes the key from her. He's like, hey, you have a place at my side, and he's gonna, take her heart as a trophy. And I'm just like, okay. She spits the blood from the key in his face, and he like reverts back to like his actual demon form and gets destroyed. And I'm just like, oh, spits not swallows.
Oh, I was surprised Crypt Keeper didn't make that joke at the end.
Exactly. And so then at dawn, she refills the key with his blood and boards a bus with her cat, sealing the door behind her. Down the road, the bus stops to pick up a stranger who declines to get on, saying that he'll catch the next one. Dressed identically to the previous guy, carrying the same suitcase, she realizes that he's the next collector. They exchange glances in passing, and the new collector begins following on foot while whistling the theme song to Tales from the Crypt TV series. Then we kind of get the epilogue that the Crypt Keeper says she lived happily ever after, which was like, babes, it's Tales from the Crypt. That's where you fucked up. He goes to the film premiere screening where he is beheaded by producers because he asked for final cut privilege. And then obviously the Crypt Keeper is still alive after the beheading, and he's like, now that's entertainment. And I was just like, was it though?
Yeah.
Know what else Mummy said?
Oh my god. Oh, you know what I think that is? That one of the intros. I don't know if you remember, but he did like a Forrest Gump thing because
because obviously, how could you not?
The 90s.
I forgot who they said was. Oh, they said. Do you know they were gonna have John Travolta playing Forrest Gump, and I'm just like, oh my god, that would have been like a box office disaster.
Whoa.
I don't think I've ever seen a John Travolta movie that I like, including Grease. Grease 2 is better.
I submit to you, Face Off, ma'am.
I mean, it's a movie so bad it's good, but I don't actually like it. I like to roast it. I think that's a little different.
I mean, is there anything?
But also, Nicolas Cage carries that movie. John Travolta does not.
Well, yeah.
No, actually, there is one movie. I think Gotti. Everybody hates that movie, but I actually think that's the only movie that he actually was good in. I take that back. Gotti. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Now that you mention it, I don't know if there's anything. I
never understood why he kept getting work. I'm like, oh, it's because he likes. Never mind.
Massages.
No.
Oh.
No.
So,
I'm not even gonna put an allegedly in front of that. If you know, you know.
A certain religion.
No, not even before that. Even before he was in a certain religion.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a thing. You can Google it, maybe. I don't know. Google's weird though. We're being censored, so I don't know. Good luck finding anything.
Yeah. I think his looks carried him maybe through the 70s, and I feel like in Hollywood, if you're around long enough, that you just automatically get like grandfathered in.
I think so.
Especially if you do have like looks and.
I don't know, man. Have you ever watched the first couple of Tom Cruise movies with his bad teeth? Like, not to shame, but and he wasn't even poor. So I don't know why he didn't get his teeth done until so late into his life. He's actually famously from a pretty well-to-do family. It just kind of confuses me.
I don't know. Again, he had certain people behind him, so.
But not always. Not always.
Yeah.
Like I say, yeah, it's like a whole thing. It's kind of also Christian Bale. It's like, oh, I know he's British, but literally didn't get his teeth done until he had to do American Psycho. So it's fascinating, actually.
Oh, good for you.
But yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I think the episode when we do episodes is going to be better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think I know a single person who loves this, who likes this movie.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know.
The soundtrack is good. Listen, if it was the 90s and it was a terrible movie, that freaking soundtrack was gonna be a banger. Okay,
I can list probably at least a handful of movies where I'm like, yeah, the movie ain't that good, but the soundtrack's very good.
And then also there's a post-credit scene. He talks about that movie Dead Easy. And it was supposed to be a New Orleans zombie, but then obviously they didn't do that.
Yeah, this
and then the key was supposed to be in the next movie, Bordello of Blood, and that was like going to be like the main like center of the trilogy. But of course, if you've ever seen that movie, it actually doesn't happen.
I can't remember a lot of that. That's Dennis Miller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought when they announced the sequel. I'm like, oh, cool. You know, maybe they're going to.
This is on laser. It would look better on Laserdisc. I wish I still had my Laserdisc player. Like, my dad was a weirdo, and he preferred Laserdisc over, like, VHS and stuff. Like, but also a Betamax guy. So, like, he is very much like, if it's proprietary things, I want it. Thus, I'm a Sony person, technically. But yeah, like, Laserdisc was the coolest thing.
That's like the one I never got into was Laserdisc.
You had to be kind of had to have a little money for Laserdiscs.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like, if you were lucky, your school had Laserdiscs. I didn't have to roll out that terrible VHS card.
I think I hung on the VHS maybe a little longer than I should have, and then just jumped into DVDs.
DVDs, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a DVD VHS combo in my bedroom for the last SpongeBob, actually.
Yes, CD VHS combo. Yes.
Yep. I love VHS. I really do. It's kind of like vinyl. It's just something, I don't know, endearing about the VHS format.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like, and this is like kind of like from an artistic perspective, especially if you're like into like pornography, right? And like the history of like how those two things were interwoven, and like how come we even have like DVDs? We're not like in the porn, like we're not in porn theaters anymore for the most part, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. So it does have a special place in my heart.
Oh God, yeah, we need to get some '90s episodes. We need to do some '90s episodes. Maybe get some Justin the Owl in here.
Yeah, for sure. I give it a solid C+ though for '90s movies that were cash grabs.
Yeah.
Very average.
I think you're right. Yeah, I mean,
if it was like, if we take this as like an extended Tales from the Crypt episode though, absolute D-. D is the dog shit.
Yeah, it's
like, it's an anthology. Like, what are we doing? Why is it one solid story?
Would it go up in your?
Didn't Twilight Zone, the movie, it had like different parts from it. It had different parts in it. I think they loosely connected or whatever. So I think that's what I was expecting from this.
So you were expecting like a bunch of short anthologies, like the show,
three, you know, and they all were interconnected. I was like, because like we open up on the road, right? So road trip going through these small towns, and nope, that's not what this is. This is about a demon night.
Do you think would it have been better like if they had done like 3 little separate stories but each connected to this key? Like maybe you showed more of
like the beginning of it, then like the World War I thing, and then jump to like the next Guardian. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should watch that, or if you can find the original 1972 movie.
Yeah,
I mean, it's actually kind of better than this.
Yeah, if we can find. Yeah, if I can find it, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'd love to compare and contrast. I mean, it does have British sensibilities that I'm not fond of, but I do think it is a better movie.
Mm. Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you about? I think, was it yesterday it came out? Kind of switching gears a little bit here. I thought it was going to be a series, but I guess that Star Trek Section 31's a movie.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a series, but they cut it down to a movie.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in Star Trek September.
Okay.
I mean, I know. I mean, if you really want to talk about it for clicks and views, that's
no.
fine.
I mean, no, that's fine. No, I haven't watched.
It's a waste of Michelle Yeoh, in my personal opinion.
Oh yeah, I'm like, why wouldn't
and
they do this?
Like Amari, like go back to the Power franchise. Why are you in my Star Trek? It's certain people that I just do not want my franchise, and he's one of them.
I haven't watched it yet, but yeah. I just saw it.
I like the idea of Section 31. So the fact that there's even a freaking movie.
You said you don't like it?
No. I don't think I've ever really cared for it thanks to Enterprise. I think Enterprise kind of ruined it.
Yeah. And again, I mean, the original thought on Star Trek is it's supposed to be like a utopia, you know.
Well, you have to, no. Because, the original, if you want to go the original series, sure. But even in Star Trek Next Generation from first season, like they had themes of conspiracy.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, no society's ever going to be perfect.
True.
Even if you take money out of it, people are going to. And come on, they still played poker on the ship. Like, you know, everybody hates Ferengis because they still like monetary things, but like that's just the nature of it.
That's true. Money wasn't a thing. Why are they playing? Well, maybe were they playing for Latinum? I don't know.
Oh no, they just had poker chips, but like still, that's a form of monetary representation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you playing? It's not a game of skill, like, you know, that stupid made up martial arts that they did, or 3D chess, or so many other things that they did that evolved. Like, why are you still playing poker in the 24th century? I want to know.
Parisi squares.
Like, you have a holodeck. Why are you playing poker? I want to know. Yeah, clearly I'm doing a rewatch, a full franchise rewatch, and it is a slog.
Yeah, true. I mean, you go to holodeck. I mean, you could actually go to like actually, quote unquote, you go to a casino or something, you know, so spice it up a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like, I hope that they figure out the rights for Tales from. This movie was put out by Universal, which makes sense to me. For some reason, and I think it just has to do with like Universal, like, you know, the horror monsters and so, like, to me it made sense, but like now I don't know, it would probably be a freaking a Blumhouse production. Scares me so bad. Like, if you don't know, I'm talking like Megan and like those weird AI movies that just came out.
No.
Stuff like that. Like, what was it, like, Fantasy Island with like that girl from like Pretty Little Lies, like stuff like that. Like, sure, for every, like, Hereditary, A24, you get Fantasy Island from Blumhouse, and it's just like, let's just make it a TV show. HBO should still technically have some kind of, like, rights to it or something, I would think. It hasn't been that long.
Do you think this movie was so different from the show? Just, were there, of course, there probably was, but, like, Suits interfering and, making weird decisions. I
mean, just from the outline of the, you know, the framing of the story, I think that is a nod that the Suits definitely didn't let them do what they wanted to do.
It's just like, oh, we have to have like an
actual story. We can't just have 3 loosely connected stories. This is the movie.
We can't just have people chopping each other up. We have to have like good guys. And
meanwhile, the Saw franchise, how much is that worth?
How many movies did they milk out of that?
Yeah, exactly.
We kind of have to have a happy ending where someone gets out alive, and, you know, just.
It reminded me of Set It Off, and I'm just like, did the Set It Off and like this too with her getting on the bus? Like, come on. Can we at least be a little original here? Yeah, like, it's just, this is a pretty cool franchise. Like, I have some of the, well, I don't, like, not the original comics, obviously. I would die, but they're all in terrible shape because all my Tarzan and like John Carter books are terrible. Like, nobody took care of their shit back then. It's so sad. It's so sad. Like, my also my original Conan books, they're always in bad shape when I do find them, even if it's like an estate sale and somebody was a super fan. I mean, it's obviously because the paper degraded. Like, it wasn't meant to be a collectible like they are now. Well,
Again, that gave them their value too, that they could degrade and stuff.
That's consumerist bullshit.
Really?
I kind of like the like. I mean, I'm not crazy about the paper because I feel like it's kind of cheap and shitty, but not in the way like you know, newsprint is. But especially for the price that they charge. But I like that it's not really as degradable as the old ones are. I think you know, I don't even really think like a why a Superman comic book, the first one, is like $1 million. I think that's crazy. That's ridiculous. It's you know. Just read it online.
Again,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know.
You don't need, like, it's crazy. Like, a story is a story is a story.
I mean, I think because it's rare and, you know,
rare, fake scarcity, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's the fur. Well, you know, again, the first Superman, I mean, 38, a lot of those, I'm sure, either went to the
still read the story. You don't need the actual original book, is my point. Like, I'm just, consumeristic propaganda is bullshit. That's all I'm saying. Like, don't be a part of late stage capitalism, kids. That's all I'm saying. Like, just wake up. Like, it's just, everything's fake. It's not real.
Oh, it still hurts my heart. When he was a kid, my dad said he had like the first couple Spider-Man issues, Avengers. I'm just like,
rip the cover right off. Oh yeah, I hate when I find old comics and the covers ripped off. That does break my heart a little bit.
Yeah, again, I mean, I'm sure people who bought them did that too, but I think some of the stores did that too when if they were tossing them out. My mom's just like, oh, tossing them out. Oh,
yeah, rude.
What's next?
Again, late stage capitalism. Everybody's greedy. Instead of just giving away to local kids, nope, I'm gonna rip the covers off and they can scrounge through that.
Oh yeah, I mean, or people just hoarded them and put them under their couch to prop them up.
I like the dresser.
Yeah, exactly.
It weird with me now?
Is there any, I don't think there's any, entertainment news we can talk about. It's been all quiet on the Western Front. Hollywood is dying a slow, painful death as we watch, and it's all their own doing. Shout out to streaming, aka the new cable.
Well, and two, I mean, LA's literally burning, so.
Well, it was dying way before that. I think the last two strikes really put the nail in the coffin, unfortunately, and it's crazy, how everybody's jumping on AI, and how I have to I have no companies to support because everybody's using AI instead of real artists. It's just really sad.
Well, you knew that was going to happen when there's hey,
of course, I already.
Although I saw something on social media, someone made a point there, when people look back decades from now, I don't think AI is going to be the big problem. I think people are going to be more.
If you use it as a tool and not a replacement,
exactly,
that's fine. But they're using it as a replacement, obviously, and that was always the plan. But it's like babes, you can make these robots that roll around on Roombas all you want, but you're still going to actually need real people when the world ends.
But they said,
sorry to break it to you.
They said the bigger threat than AI is going to be Ozempic.
Nah, that fad is over with. The normies got a hold of that way too quick. They're doing other stuff now. That's just how it works.
Oh, so now there's going to be a whole mess of people?
No, it's going to be going back to being fat and portly, back in the medieval times.
Oh, I thought it was going to be...
Because have you seen the price of food?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have natural Ozempic pretty soon here.
Oh, my. There's going to be a whole bunch of skinny people with bad faces running around.
What the hell is okay, so I actually decided to watch Normie TV, and what the fuck did I see? Ryan Seacrest hosting Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah, Pat Sajak retired. Yeah, they gave it to Seacrest.
How many jobs does he need?
I mean, literally, wasn't his eyeball? I swear, at one point, literally, his eyeball was almost popping out. I was like, yeah.
Bro, first of all, ever since he took over Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve, that was his thing. I want to be the modern Dick Clark. It's babes, there's only one Dick Clark, and you're not it. Okay? So, that's always rubbed me the wrong way. I just really do not have an affinity for Ryan Seacrest.
Seacrest, you're just a dick. Well, he's just so fake, and,
oh, thank you. It's just that inauthenticity, just
That's the thing. I don't think he can get any job that's a huge payday.
That actually has real personality. And I'm just look, Pat Sajak and Vanna White chemistry, legendary. You're never replacing it. And I was this is why I don't watch regular TV. It's first of all, Alec Trebek passed away, so I couldn't watch Jeopardy. They didn't really give LeVar Burton the thing. So I was just if they would have done that, I would have went back to Jeopardy. That. Another had pop culture Jeopardy for stupid people. Yeah. I'm just okay, whatever. Cool. I mean, we already had Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Cool guys.
I never really watched a ton of it, but I haven't seen any episode of Wheel of Fortune with Ryan Seacrest on it. So.
I just happened to turn it on, and I was just that used to, look, me and my grandma, that was our comfort show before dinner. It was Jeopardy, it was Wheel of Fortune, then Jeopardy, and then whatever trivial garbage was on CBS from 8 to 10. Not you, Walker Texas Ranger, not you. You're safe. You're cool. No, but yeah, so I was just oh, my whole childhood is literally dead now.
Oh yeah,
dead. There's nothing left of it.
Okay, you get to that point.
They rebooted Matlock twice, and I'm just what?
This current right now.
Mason even got a reboot for crying out loud. We got a prequel technically, but still, it's just everything is bad, guys.
We got Matlock now with Kathy Bates.
Yeah, I tried to watch the pilot, and I was just no, thank you.
Oh my god! And
I like her other law show, which was Harry. That was actually better to me. I don't understand the Matlock premise. Also, we didn't get South Park all of 2024, so my whole entertainment life is in shambles right now. I mean, we didn't get Strange New World. It's a mess. I resorted to watching the full rewatch of Star Trek. I'm talking the original series, the animated series, Next Generation, and god damn it, every time I get to Enterprise, I have to stop.
Then they keep threatening us with that commercial for Suits LA.
Let's be real, the last 2 seasons of original Suits wasn't that good. And Pearson, which had the best character out of all the Suits, couldn't even make it to a second season. So you think Stephen Amell's going to be able to actually carry a show? No. That we have no attachment to? No. And nobody cares about it. Look, listen, no tea, no shade. People are sick of LA. We're sick of stuff being set in LA, New York, Chicago. Give the rest of the country a chance, please.
And again, it's like
that's why CSI was such a big show when it was when it was in its prime.
And I really never watch a lot of the original Suits either. So is it like good things happening to lawyers? Who wants to see good things happening to lawyers?
Lawyers.
Well, yeah. So, but I don't think you can keep a whole series.
No, you have to remember, our fascination with lawyers goes way back. I'm talking like LA law, things like that. So it's a tradition in America. We love a procedural. We love a law procedural.
I have to say, oh God, we're so behind on our Law and Order here. It's been a slog for me since Sam Waterston left.
Yeah, like I said, I literally, like ever since Craig,
What, Cragen?
Yeah, Cragen left. I just really couldn't get, like, especially the way they made him leave, and then when they brought him back with that prostitute storyline, I'm just like, no, we're done here. So occasionally I'll watch it, and I've been watching a little bit more now that Stabler and Benson are back.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sorted together, but like I still haven't, like, I'll just let a batch build up and watch them.
Again, a show goes long enough, like regular Law and Order, there's no original people left on that.
Yeah. It's like, if Mariska leaves, guess what, bud? I'm out of there. Exactly. And I heard she kind of just wants to be an executive producer. I'm like, babes, don't fuck up your paycheck, because if you leave, nobody's watching that shit, bro. I don't know how to tell you.
I mean, no offense, but who's holding up that show then? Ice-T?
Yeah, no.
I think he knows. He just from stuff he said, he knows. He knows.
He's just there for the ride.
I'm sure.
I appreciate somebody that's very cognizant of their position.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's a fan favorite, sure, but like nobody actually likes an Ice-T episode. Like especially now that Munch has passed away, like he doesn't really have that person to play. Now, if it was a Munch, oh yeah, but if it's just like about him and his son and him being homophobic, no thanks.
Oh yeah, Munch and Finn were the best. What do you mean? What do you mean you're a Jew?
How would you like it if I said you're my Jew? Yeah, exactly. Like you just can't have that anymore, unfortunately. No. So the best years are behind it, unfortunately. But I still, like I said, America loves a procedural. We really do.
But again, I mean, SVU, they got 25 years out of that thing.
I told somebody, hey, you want to binge watch Law and Order? Like, they're like, not even SVU, but like, there's too many episodes. Like, I was like, we could just do the USA marathons. It's fine.
Oh my God. I just saw, just this morning, it was an older picture. It had to have been, of course, it had to have been like not like late 90s, early 2000s, but it was young Mariska Hargitay at some event for Nintendo GameCube.
Game? Oh God!
I mean, it looked like season 1 or 2 Mariska. Yeah, it was like, wow.
And did you see those Oscar nominations? Everybody's pissed about their Oscar nominations, I guess, allegedly.
No, why?
I don't know.
Why? Because they don't like who they got.
I guess everybody's on the bandwagon to hate Amelia Perez this year, and I'm not. Like I said, I'm kind of out of it. I don't really know why. So
yeah, I don't know.
I was like, yeah. I mean, there was actually not really a lot of good movies last year, in my personal opinion. So,
well, yeah, because weren't we coming out of the strikes and stuff, and
I mean, I guess Wicked got a shit ton of them. I don't know why I didn't really care for that movie. I think it's just the fandom kind of propping it up, personally.
Yeah, again, it's like anything. It's like if it's like the big hip thing, a lot of times it's just like, oh, you should like this. You should like this. Like, don't tell me what to do.
Everybody gives me shit for being a contrarian, but like, honestly, it's my real opinion. Not 50-50. Sometimes I'm just being like tongue in cheek about it, but a lot of times I'm just like, okay, you can like what you like, but
and again, if you don't like something, you don't like something. It's,
exactly. Like this, I think a lot of people are very upset because like I feel like they feel like The Substance got shunned for a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. That movie, now that was the movie of the year. It had a lot to say. It was very slick. It was very stylish. It was like not pushy or judgy or preachy about the message that it was trying to send. And Demi Moore and the girl that played the young Demi Moore's character were phenomenal. And like I said, visually stunning. The filmography was top tier.
I've heard
top tier.
I've heard nothing but good reviews for that.
Score, everything, top to bottom. That movie, it won't be another movie like that for another 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of got, I don't think like the world's really ready to hear that message. And so I think that's why a lot of people are upset. But I think even if you don't like the message, just visually stunning movie, actually. Mm. So, yeah.
All right.
And then, yeah. So, yeah, that's it.
All right. So we get out of here?
Yeah, we got a whole nother show to do.
I got another show to do.
I mean, I think that was going to be pretty short, but.
Hey-oh.
Sorry, Patreon elite.
That's all right. We can BS through anything. All right.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, kids. So next month, a little bit of a grab bag. Like I said, we're going to do 2 episodes of Tales from the Crypt. But, we'll start February with Tales from the Crypt, Season 1, Episode 5, Lover Come Hack to Me. Then
You're such a romantic.
Exactly. And then the week after, we're going to do Back to Unlimited Justice for the 75th episode. We're going to talk about that big DC Universe couple, Green Arrow and Black Canary.
Sorry, West Allen. Sorry, Superman and Lois. Sorry, Batman and Catwoman. Y'all just don't got that electric chemistry like they do. They're equals, actually. I think they're the only DC couple that are actually equals.
Oh, nice.
Don't you think?
Yeah. No, she might be a little above him.
Well, of course, obviously.
And then the week after that, watch a little for eyes. Yeah, we'll do this season 3 premiere of Invincible.
I'm happy about that.
Okay.
It just took forever.
Yes.
Do we know if they're splitting it up again, right?
I'll have to look, but I wouldn't.
I'm pretty sure Amazon don't got shit, so. We're a long way from the next season of The Boys, so.
Exactly. And then, we'll close out the month with another Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt Season 3, Episode 1, Loved to Death.
That's the way I want to go, by my Android.
Oh.
And it won't be on a fucking Roomba.
Oh, it'll be... God. It'll be diesel-powered.
That's going to be solar-powered.
Well, yeah.
No fossil fuels here, my friend.
Giant pistons. All right. So send us all your thoughts on those. Send us your thoughts on Demon Knight. All right. So, send them all to CapesandLunatics at gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all the...
That's the wrong email, bud.
Oh, that's right. Salty and Petty. Oh,
it's been a while.
Sugar, that's right. I forgot to do a new one.
Sugar honey iced tea.
I forgot to do a infographic for Salty and Petty. It's on the list. Right. Yeah, send them to saltyandpetty69 at gmail.com or call the voice.
Either way, Phil reads it all.
Either way, it all comes to me because I do all the work.
Hey-o.
Come to Butthead. When are we getting new episodes of that? Beavis and Butthead.
I thought the revival was canceled.
Oh, what was it? Oh, man.
Yeah, Paramount's going through an issue right now. We'll talk about that next time.
Maybe we'll do some old 90s. Again, 90s. Yeah, that's going to be a little subsection of...
King of the Hill is right around the corner of that reboot. Cool.
What the hell? All right, so, yes.
Stop it.
Check out CapesLunatics.wordpress.com for all episodes since the beginning of time. You can also help
Phil's secret website.
I know, man.
Holding out on us
since the beginning. And again, help support us by buying merchandise off TeePublic and Spring, or give in to the demands of Wolf Hellfire and rain the money on us through the Cash App link.
It's a gentle, strong suggestion.
We need the money, gimme.
And of course, the Patreon, where, of course, myself and the Queen of Scary here, we give you exclusive, uncensored content every month. And if you are a Patreon member, subscriber, you can suggest topics for us to talk about, as Justin has done many times and Ray has done once after getting shamed. So yes, please subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/CapesandLunatics.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
Oh my God. Did you see, Ray Plays Games, must have hit, was it 200 or something subscribers or something? And I know Ray's celebrating. He put a thing up about, he was offering to play with other people's decks. That's all I'll say.
Nice.
Hey, I got all these subscribers. So want me to play with your deck? Oh, it was just so funny. I was like, does he know what that sounds like? I swear we gave him the idea. I'd be like, yeah, kid. Jax, get it?
He's leave that sweet old man alone. Let him celebrate his win.
What's that mean? Hold on, I have to find this. I don't know. I'll find it. All right, kids. So, yes, come. Thank you for joining us, kiddies. Yes. Come back next time for, well, a Tales from the Crypt episode. Alright. Join us next time. Same salty time.
Same petty channel.
Ha!